Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Allahumma ja'alna minhum wa min alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Thumma amma ba'd. Rabbi samawati wal ardi wa ma baynahuma ar-Rahman la yamlikuna minhu khitaban. Yawma yaqumu ar-ruhu wal malaikatu saffan la yatakallamuna illa man adhina lahu ar-Rahmanu وقال صوابا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. We are now, alhamdulillah, at the tail end of Surah An-Naba. These are the last few ayat of Surah An-Naba. Allah Azza wa Jal described how He is a merciful and exceedingly loving master, but within the same ayah there's a quick iltifat, there's a quick switch back to the scene of Judgment Day. But this is the second time Judgment Day is being described. The difference is, in the first case, when Allah said, Inna yawm al-fasli kana miqata, the first time He mentioned it, He mentioned the larger events that are going to be happening on Judgment Day. The sailing of the mountains, the larger cataclysmic events. Now it's actually focused particularly on the humility of all creation before Allah. It's going to highlight the discipline and the order of the angels, and it's also going to highlight the regret and the humility of the disbelievers who acted arrogantly. So the first statement is لا يملكون منه خطابا. They will have no authority to address whatsoever. They will have no power to speak whatsoever. We're going to take note of that and come back to that. Judgment Day is a day of absolute silence. There are parts of Judgment Day in the beginning where, وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. The human being will say, what's wrong with the earth? The human beings will be crying out. The books will be brought out and there will be مَا لِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ لَا يُغَادِرُ صَغِيرَةً وَلَا كَبِيرَةً إِلَّا أَحْصَاهَا. What's wrong with this book? It didn't leave anything small out, anything big out. It recorded everything. What kind of book is this? There will be people speaking. But then a point comes in Judgment Day when there's what? Absolute silence. The evidences have been laid out. The crying and the wailing has been done. Nobody is allowed to speak now. There's absolute silence. That's the scene that's being described. So He says, لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة. The day on which the angel will stand. Like there's a judge and there are soldiers and military stands firm. It's like attention, salute kind of stand. That's the imagery described. The armies of angels with their general in front of them, Ar-Ruh, meaning Jibreel alayhi salam. The day on which Jibreel alayhi salam, and the legions of angels are going to be standing in straight rows, the armies of angels. Because why are the armies standing there? The judge gives his judgment, and then the inmates, the prisoners, the accused have to be taken away for sentencing. Who's going to take them away? The angels that are going to execute that punishment. And then others are going to be escorted to heaven. Or welcomed into heaven. So all of the angels, the ones that are supposed to be serving that are torturing the inmates of hell, and the ones that are supposed to be serving the residents of Jannah, are all now aligned. Everybody's aligned. لا يتكلمون. Nobody gets to speak. By the way, this includes the angels that used to be on either side. Right? Even they don't speak right now. Everything's been presented. Nobody gets to talk. إِلَّا مَنْ أَذِنَ لَهُ الرَّحْمَنُ وَقَالَ صَوَابًا. Except the one that Allah gave permission to, and whoever that is will speak upright. They'll say exactly what needs to be said. They won't add or detract. When I was younger, honestly, only when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of courtroom shows. Right? Law and Order was like my favorite show, but I used to watch a lot of and I was Judge Judy fan. But the thing with a lot of these courtroom shows is that the lawyer comes and he just starts babbling, taking time. Like I was actually keenly following the Enron scandal back in the day, when the executives were interrogated. They were even brought into Congress and stuff. You should have heard some of their testimony. If they were asked a question, straightforward, did you or did you not sign off on this financial analysis? The response will be, my favorite lollipop is, and when I was 7, is when I rode my first bike. And I must say it was an exhilarating experience. And then court is adjourned. We'll come back tomorrow. They would dilly-dally and tell stories and go around the point, and the judge will say, get to the point. I'm getting there, Your Honor. I'm just building my argument. Quran says, وَقَالَ صَوَابًا. He will speak accurately. It actually comes from the word isaba, which means to hit a target. Sawab means to hit a target exactly. There's nothing else. There's no side commentary. There's no build up to the point. You know, nobody gets to be verbose on Judgment Day. No, let me explain. By the way, I'm really honored to be here and thanks for inviting. No small talk. Now this raised the question, who is this that's being given permission? One interpretation of this, and it applies, is that on that day nobody will get to speak except the one sallallahu alaihi wasallam who has been given maqam al-mahmuda, the praised station. And there is in fact a dialogue. If you'd like the details on that, I'd like to keep them in one place so I can refer people. When I did my durus on Ayatul Kursi, which are part of the Ramadan series, I went through that hadith in detail. That hadith is the hadith of shafa'ah, the hadith of intercession, because there, مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَشْفَعُ عِنْدَهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. Who is going to make intercessions, plead in front of Allah on anybody else's behalf, except if He gives permission. And He does give His Prophet permission, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one interpretation of that is in fact that this is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who will speak precisely. Yet another interpretation possible, equally valid, is that at one time only one angel will speak and say what you have to say, and that's it. And the other will speak and say exactly what they have to say, and that's it. And they will say the right thing or be cut off. Like Surah Qaf describes. قَالَ قَرِينُهُ هَذَا مَا لَدَيَّ عَتِيدٌ أَلْقِيَا فِي جَهَنَّمَ كُلَّ كَفَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ مَنَّاعٍ لِلْخَيْرِ مُعْتَدٍ مُرِيبٍ. Those ayat were there each making a case. And eventually, لَا تَخْتَصِمُوا لَدَيَّ. Don't make an argument in front of me. Don't talk anymore. Anybody who speaks will give the right testimony and that's it. And when they're not, and sawaban suggest they'll say exactly what they should be saying. Even that, I would argue, includes false testimony. If they were liars in dunya, they will try to make lies here too. They will actually make lies here too. And that's actually in testimony to who they are. Because in Surah Al-Zumar, there will be those who say, لَوْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ هَدَانِي. Had Allah guided me, I wouldn't have been here. And Allah says, nope, you're a liar. You're a liar. And you call the revelations a lie. He'll call them out on their lives. So this is the trial setting of Judgment Day, and so Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمِ الْحَقِّ. That day is the ultimate reality. That there is no greater reality than that day. If you want to understand the reality, and by the way, al-haq, so beautiful, it means reality, min al-haqiqah, right? Haq also means right, as in, I have a right over you, you have a right over me. That is the day when what is rightfully due to Allah will be taken. What you deserve will be given. The day of giving rights and taking rights is part of the meaning of al-haq. That day is the ultimate day of rights. Then al-haq also means purpose. That day is the ultimate purpose, meaning that day is the ultimate purpose for which you were in this world. Everything you did amounts to something on that day. I'm reminded of the unfair education system in my country of origin, Pakistan, where students study the entire year for their metric exam, and that one exam determines whether or not they're a failure or their entire year's labor is on one piece of paper. One test. That's it. Right? And that's an unfair system because it doesn't take into account all the homework, all the study, all the effort, nothing. It's just that one test. That's it. Quran and Judgment Day is not like that. It takes into account everything. But everything will be graded on that one day. That day is not a day you're being tested. That's the day you're being graded. Right? That's the day everything you and I did is being evaluated. Now on the valuation of our deeds, al-haq, I should mention, part of al-haq, the reality of things, the true measure of things. So everybody here prayed. We just prayed all together. But are our prayers going to count the same in front of Allah? No. Some people who prayed here today, maybe this is the prayer that earned them their forgiveness and their ticket into Jannah. Some people who prayed here today, maybe may Allah make it none of us. May be worth dust. Nothing. Their mind wasn't in their prayer, their intention wasn't in the prayer. I'm just here because my mom made me come. Because she keeps making me listen to Nouman Ali Khan videos. I'm stuck here right now. And I'm snapping about it because I'm stuck. But their prayer is worth nothing to Allah. Mom's happy they prayed. Allah isn't. Because they didn't pray for Allah. You know? No, the reality of what we do, the good that we do and the bad that we do, anything that we do, there's an obvious, you could see it, and there's a truth behind it. The true value of it will come out on that day. Hajj, Umrah, memorization of Quran, being a scholar, being a speaker, being an imam, being a leader, being a student, being someone who recites Quran beautifully, being somebody who specialized in Hadith, being somebody who traveled to learn, being somebody who gave charity. You can be all of those things, but all of those things can also be on the outside. And there's something else going on the inside. That day, the truth about who you really are and who I really am comes out. On the flip side of it, there are people who have no knowledge. They don't know any Arabic, they don't know how to recite Quran, they don't even have a beard, astaghfirullah al-azim. She doesn't even wear hijab, but they were seeking about Allah, and whatever little they knew, they were working on. They were even praying in English, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, even worse, Spanish, And they died like that. And they're possibly worth more to Allah on Judgment Day than a great Qari of the Quran. Than somebody who knew way more than them. Somebody who used to give lectures and talks and had YouTube videos. And they're worth way more to Allah because their sincerity and the genuineness of their heart. Allah values it. We don't see it. We don't see anything. Allah sees it. Allah sees their struggle. There's a sister I met one time. I was flying in one of the airlines. I don't want to mention, she'll get embarrassed. She was a flight attendant. And she recognized me. And flight attendants dress a certain way, their code or whatever. And she came to me and she said, I make istighfar every night. I look for a job for 3 years. My parents are sick. My dad needs medical attention. The only reason I'm doing this job is to pay for his medical bills. And I don't know what else to do. But I cry every single night. As soon as this job is done, I dress the way I'm supposed to dress. I actually put the hijab on, and they told me they'll fire me if I keep it on. Obviously not an American Airlines, right? It was an airlines from the Muslim world. We should be proud, right? They wouldn't get fired here, but they'd get fired over there for dressing like a Muslim. So that just makes me super happy. I don't give them business anymore. But, and she says, I know I'm a sinner. I was like, there are people who are in so much comfort and they go into haram and they celebrate it. And this woman's in a corner, like she's cornered, and she's trying to take care of her parents. And she's violating some rules of the deen, yes. I'm not saying she's doing something right, but she's making istighfar, making tawbah, crying before Allah every night. Allah will value those people. Sometimes people are in tough situations. You can't just be, no, you need to quit your job and let your dad, Allah will take care of him, and the surgery will be performed by angels, and hold on a second. Keep looking for another job, Allah will make a way. Allah will make a way. Just give people hope. Give people hope. On that note, on the side note, just on giving people hope, even though I'm supposed to be finished with this real quick, I will be. There are certain regulations in our deen that came 15, 16,